Hello and welcome to the Card Deck Creator interview series with me, Ayesha Hilton. Today I've got the fabulous and very energetic Dr. TaMara Rose, who's created a gorgeous deck, which we're going to have some show and tell in a minute. But welcome, TaMara. Let's hear a little bit more about who you are and what you've created.
Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. My name is Dr. TaMara Rose, and I am a womb healer. And I've been doing this work for over 30 years. There's nothing in the world that I would rather do. I know I was actually called to do this work at a very early age, probably around the age of 5, right? I knew that I loved learning about women's bodies, women's womb health, and women's womb wellness. And so, I did what I needed to do over the years to get educated and to just really walk in my soul's purpose and calling. And so here I am.
And what sort of doctor are you, by the way?
Yes, I have a PhD in human sexuality and a doctorate degree in human sexuality.
Oh, so you're double doctor.
Yes, that's just how much I love it.
Yeah, no, fabulous. And when you say like you do womb stuff, can you give us some examples? I'd love to know more.
Absolutely. So I work around with women in their womb space because that's where life begins. And so I help women embody their authenticity and their soul's purpose through spiraling back into the womb space to heal ancestral trauma. And so that may look like energy work, sound therapy, yoni steaming, crystal grids, like a lot of energy work and just metaphysical type work, and utilization of herbs and things like that to help women heal their womb space. And I'm also a doula. And so then I help women who want to become pregnant or who are pregnant to deliver life into this world.
Gorgeous. I've actually trained sort of for fun as a birth and death doula, so I've got both covered. And I've got a really good friend here who has a yoni temple, and I had my first yoni steam a couple of weeks ago in ceremony, and it was really great. It was a good practice, and I've been given ideas of how to do it at home as well. And I think, just like I've got a 16-year-old with quite bad menstrual problems. She's not open to anything, but like it would be so helpful. And I think the work that you do is so invaluable at the various stages of life that we women go through.
Absolutely. And I think that I really like working with young women, especially around helping them to understand how powerful their menstrual cycle is. Because oftentimes, especially here, in America, we are taught so many negative things about our bodies as women, about our menstrual cycle. But helping younger women understand the power of that and embrace that in their bodies at earlier ages will help them to, reduce the likelihood of putting themselves at risk for, sexually transmitted infections, HIV, unintended pregnancies, like in all of these sorts of things that can lead them down a different path had they understood how to accept and honor their body, their temple, in a different type of a way. So I really think that working with young women is very powerful work.
Well, I think like coming to the work later in life and sort of going into perimenopause, I'm like, oh, I wish I knew some of these things when I had such terrible menstrual issues for so many years, like decades, right? And trouble falling pregnant and all sorts of things.
Absolutely. It's definitely the earlier you get the information, the better I think it is, in terms of body outcomes. But even as a perimenopausal woman going into menopause, just even understanding how powerful that is and the energy surges that we get in terms of hot flashes, right? Helping to reframe that narrative too also helps women of our age, who are going through perimenopause or who are actually in menopause, and so yeah, even that conversation is necessary too.
Totally agree. Now, let's have some show and tell. We'll start with your deck. So tell us about, the process of creating it, and we need to see it. So this is in a tin, right?
Yes. So the process of creating this deck was very, very, a very spiritual process, a very spiritual unfolding. I had written my book Womb, which actually I thought that I would ultimately write a workbook for that book, but somewhere along the line, Spirit said, no, I think you need to develop some oracle cards to really help women tap into the power of their womb space in a different way. And so they told me this about maybe two years or so ago. And I, drug my feet around the process, and so many different things happened during the couple of years. And finally, one day I came across your course and I said, okay, yeah, I'm going to do this. It's already a template set up. I don't have to figure out too much. All I have to do is do the content. And so I signed up for your course. And then I think I want to say maybe a year almost went by and I didn't do anything. And I said, oh, wow, there's a a workbook template. Okay, cool. That's awesome. I can do that too. Didn't do anything. And then one day, out of the blue, it just hit me. And Spirit said, now's the time. And I sat down and I did it. And here we are. I worked with an illustrator to design the front of the card. It's a woman. A
Beautiful. And
woman.
what animal is that?
It is a jaguar because I am tapped into the medicine and the energy of the jaguar. There's actually an owl in the background. Of course, the moon is all about divine feminine energy, and she has a sphere made of obsidian, which is, that grounding protection energy. And she's has her third eye illuminated because she's tapped into all her divine feminine energy, her wisdom, and her power. And so yes, and then the back, each card, the back of the card is the same, of course. And so it has the skull for the ancestral energy, the snake for the serpent medicine, the rose because the rose is the medicine as well, and the fire represents just that burning flame, that passion, that energy within, to manifest those things and become those things that you so desire to become through healing and wholeness and ancestral energy.
Beautiful. Can you show us another card?
Yes. So pretty much all the front is all the same, and the back looks the same. But then, of course, we talk about how to use the deck.
Yep, beautiful. Yes. Okay, so you've used the same image but with different words.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that before, so that's good. So you didn't have to get too much artwork together, but it still works. Yep. And
Yes.
so you just had a launch on TikTok, right?
Yes, I did a TikTok.
Yeah. So how did that go?
It went amazing. So I did an unveiling or an unboxing on TikTok and actually all of my social media platforms. And so it was very, very powerful. I had lots of questions, lots of energy. I did some actual readings on, I think it was Facebook using the deck, and I had a lot of excitement around because I started promoting the deck really, really early and built up a lot of buzz and did all these amazing things around it. So I had a lot of actual pre-orders before the deck was even released. And so when I finally was able to release it and to have everyone who pre-ordered and all the excitement come around on the live, it was really, really, really fun.
Well, congratulations. I can see that you did all the forework before the launch, like having pre-sales and everything. Before we look at the journal and stuff, can we talk about the tin? Because I like the tin and I was looking at some tins myself. So if you can tell us about, and who did you print your deck with? Make playing cards or someone else?
I did make playing cards, yes.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about doing one of the other designs that they have in terms of the boxing, but I don't know. I was just led to do the tin, and I guess because of the silver, and the silver is all about the divine feminine energy. It's the element of the divine feminine. And so I said, okay, well, let me see how this works. And so I just initially ordered one for myself to see if I liked it. And when it arrived, I said, okay, this is it. This is definitely it.
So that tin's from Make Playing Cards, is it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Yeah. I've not seen one. So that's gorgeous. And so they've printed a label on the front.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's fabulous.
Thank you.
And people have had good feedback, I'm sure, given you good feedback about it.
Yes, everyone who's received their deck really, really loves it. Everyone hasn't received the journal because I did have an option of the e-journal as well, utilizing the QR code, which was really, really cool. I love that feature. And so a lot of people just really went with the e-journal, but the feedback has been amazing.
Can we have a look at the print journal?
Absolutely, because I wanted to do something a little bit different with the journal, other than just describe what was on each card. So I described what was on each card, and then there were questions. I have reflection questions. I'm sorry, this is really difficult for me to do.
Yeah, it's always hard on Zoom. Yeah. And did you print this with Amazon or KDP, or who did you print this with?
Yes, I printed it through Amazon because all of my other books are on Amazon. So I decided to just go with Amazon as a printer, but it's really, really beautiful. Again, it talks about why I created the journal, the energy behind the journal, the number 13. It has a lot of beautiful illustrations, some womb healing affirmations. Of course.
Yes.
Thank you. And so I really, really, really like it. I really, really, really am satisfied with how this came out.
And the full color is lovely, isn't it?
It is. It's beautiful. This journal is like 112 pages, So
So
yeah.
you did that in Canva, and then did you have to do a left and right margin for the odds and even pages? Like, or did you just is how did you deal with that?
I did not have a problem formatting the journal. What I did have a problem with was getting the PDF flattened appropriately so that it would convert right in the KDP or the Amazon print function, because they kept rejecting it. But then finally, I was able to get the PDF flattened using some other online system, and it didn't take that long to really get the journal printed once I understood how to do that part of it. That was the longest process of it. And
Yeah.
actually utilizing making playing cards was not hard either. It was a really easy process.
Yes, it's just drag and drop. And the main thing with KDP is getting the file right first. And there was one stage I was working with a client, and we exported the file the same. It was from InDesign, so not Canva. And it just kept getting rejected, but we couldn't, there was no reason. And then suddenly it worked. So it's just crazy sometimes technology. It must have been, maybe it was Mercury retrograde. I don't know. But congratulations on the journal. It
Thank
looks
you.
fabulous. So that's selling on Amazon. And then you're selling everything through your website as well.
Yes, I'm selling everything through my website, and then I'm also upload the cards, the journal, as well to my Etsy store, and
Yeah.
people will be able to purchase there as well. Yes.
Yes, and we'll share all the links below the video so that people can go take a sticky beak and maybe order and get some womb wellness happening.
Absolutely, yes. And this has been such an exciting process. It wasn't as difficult as I thought. And I think the reason why it wasn't as difficult utilizing Amazon publishing is because I've already published several books on there before. So I was a little familiar with the process. And so I think that's why it made it a little bit easy. Had I not been familiar with the process, it probably would have taken me longer. I might have gotten frustrated, honestly. So
And
I was really
before
grateful.
before you started your deck, had you already been proficient in Canva? Like you've already used it for other stuff?
No.
Oh, so that was a learning curve as well.
It was a learning curve, but your template for the journal and for the cards made it very, very easy. Once I got the hang of it, I was changing colors, changing fonts, and uploading this graphic and taking that image out. It was really easy once I learned how to do it. And I'm so grateful because you created such an amazing template. So all I really had to do was pick some images here and there and change a few things in terms of words and text and content, and it was a really seamless process. Had I had to come up with this template together on my own, I would probably still be doing that. So I'm grateful for you for both, because you made this process very easy and quick for me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your appreciation. It's always nice to have good feedback because, it's like when you create something, you don't know, and I say this in nearly every video, you don't know the life of that creation, right? Like your decks are now going out across the world, and, someone might get it and then gift it to someone, and it just ends up with someone that never even purchased it, but was gifted it, and it has a life of its own, which I think is really beautiful about physical products.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And it's just been really amazing. I think like Womb by Fire. I've written 8 books, I think, and Womb by Fire, which is the cards are based on, and the workbook is based on the book Womb. This is by far my most powerful work, and to have complementary pieces such as the oracle cards and the workbook to go with it. When I say I was over when when this deck arrived, because the deck arrived before the workbook, and when it arrived, I just stood at the door and just started crying, because I'm like, it's so real, it's so amazing, and like I'm full of emotion right now because I just understand the power and the gift behind this work that has been filtered through me, and I'm just so tremendously grateful for this opportunity, for this experience. It's just really it's very overwhelming at times when I think about it, but I'm just very happy. Thank you.
I can see the sheer joy on your face. I have two questions. So the first one, are you thinking, now that you've done one deck, are you thinking of making another one? Or do you feel
I would love
complete for now?
No, actually, my mother talking to her, she's like, "Oh my gosh, now you can make a deck and a book for your other books." And I'm like, "Okay." So actually, yes, I am. When is it going to happen? I don't know, but I'm at least considering one more deck for sure, and one more workbook for sure for one of my other books to be companion pieces.
Fabulous. And given your experience, both with the journal printing with KDP and, you know, having a previous book and now the cards, what advice would you give to someone who's just starting out? Like they've got all this information in their head, but they're like, you know, all of us get overwhelmed from time to time with our big ideas and then taking those first steps. So I'd love to hear, you know, what you would like to share with other people.
I would say to first of all follow your spirit, make sure it's in alignment with what it is that you've been guided to do, and then to just start. Because if we wait for the perfect time to start, we will forever find excuses. We will forever continue to figure out reasons and times when we should or why we shouldn't start. And I would just say at least start, and then as you continue to start and work the process and follow your spirit, it will all take shape as you go. And then one day, before you know it, you will have a complete product, some cards, a book, or whatever it is that you're trying to create. But and then I would also say to ask questions. There's so many people such as yourself who've already created half of the wheel. Like all we have to do is create the other half, if that makes sense, but to ask questions and to search, because there's so many amazing resources out there, and to reach out to people who've done it before, because you're not alone in this process, and to just allow your heart and your creativity and your imagination to bring to fruition whatever it is you so desire.
Thank you so much. Your joy and your enthusiasm is infectious, and we'll be sharing the links below for Dr. TaMara Rose's deck and journal and book, and go check them out. And I think it's a really important topic. You know, as women, we need to take care of our womb and our feminine energy. And I think this is a great tool to help with that. So thank you so much, TaMara.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate you and I honor you for this gift. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed that. Wasn't it interesting? And I hope you got some inspiration and some tips from listening to this. So if you're interested in making your own card deck, I invite you to check out the Card Deck Creators Toolkit that I've created for people like you who want to create their own inspirational, affirmation, or oracle card deck. There's so many different card decks that you can create. So I invite you to check out the links below to get the toolkit and get on your way creating. And if you've already created your own card deck, congratulations. Share a link below. I'd love to see it. Much love to you, and take care.